Let me tell you about something that happened to a friend of mine, Emily. This was years ago, but it still gives me chills whenever I think about it. Emily had just moved into this beautiful old Victorian house in New England. The kind of house that looks charming from the outside, but there's always this feeling like something's off. And for Emily, it wasn't the house itself, but one thing inside the master bedroom with this massive antique mirror hanging on the wall. It had this ornate gold frame, and honestly it looked like something you'd find in a museum. But there was something weird about it. I mean, it just didn't sit right with her. It felt like it was watching her. So one night Emily decided to clean the mirror. She took a cloth and rubbed against it, and then she noticed something. Her reflection didn't move with her. It was as if there was a delay. She'd raise her hand, and just after a moment her reflection would do the same. At first she thought that maybe she was just tired, but that night something else happened. She was standing there looking into the mirror, and her reflection smiled. But she hadn't. It was like the reflection was mocking her. She froze, and then it stopped. She thought she was just imagining things, but that night she couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. Things got even weirder over the following days. There are whispery murmurs in the room. She claims she heard low-voiced people speaking. However, each time she looks in and sees there is nobody, sometimes her reflection does strange things to her without her wish. A smile, a wink, an unnerving slow nod. And one night, there was a night when the wind felt icy cold brushing past her. She got up to see her reflection grinning at her that time. But she wasn't smiling. That was it. She had to get away from the mirror, so she started avoiding the room. But no matter what she did, it was like the mirror was following her. She'd leave it in the attic, but somehow it'd show up in the hallway or even in the living room, staring back at her like it was waiting. She didn't know what to do. Then one night, this is getting really creepy, she was walking down the hallway. It was totally quiet, only her sounds echoing off the walls. She then saw her own reflection in the mirror, not alone. There was someone behind her, or somebody. But she could only turn around to look into their eyes, and she came back. There wasn't anyone. There she saw the reflection of a pale, emaciated face and unblinking eyes, and death stare back at her. She could not breathe. She froze where she stood and had the feeling for one strange moment that the mirror sucked her in. The next morning the mirror lay shattered on the floor. But here's the thing, when she looked down at the broken pieces of glass, the reflection of the figure was still there, as if it was imprisoned in the glass, waiting only. It had once been an asylum. Some said that the spirits of the patients who died there never left. And that mirror, it was where they were trapped forever, unable to escape. Emily couldn't take it anymore. She packed up and left, never to return. I heard from some locals that the house is still there, abandoned. And some say if you visit on a foggy night you might see her. Emily's reflection standing by the window, looking lost, still trapped by that haunted mirror.